Hi everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips and tricks for beginner rug tufters, and hopefully by sharing some of my mistakes along the way and just shortcuts that I've discovered, it will help you to save money, save your precious time, and just help you be more efficient by using your materials. So I first want to start off by showing you a few of the rugs that I've made. This one was my first one that I made. I wanted to make something that was really colorful, just to get my hand at practicing corners and curves. So I think this one turned out really nice. I'm keeping this one for myself personally. Here's my most recent one that I made, and it's a sushi rug. It took a while to finally perfect my skills and to really understand my tufting gun. And so a lot of these tips today are inspired by my journey and just my experience with tufting and some things that I wish I knew when I first started out. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to use burlap as a practice cloth. And the reason I say that is because when I first got my gun in the mail, I was so excited to test it out and use it that I kind of just jumped right in. I didn't take any time to test out adjustments or different settings on my tufting gun. And so out of the box, I just plugged it in and started using it on the really high quality tufting fabric. And that resulted in this mess here. You can see that it was starting to make holes in the cloth. Some of the yarn pieces are long, some are short, and it's starting to fall apart. So I'd say that you want to start out practicing on something inexpensive like burlap. I got my burlap at Joann Fabrics for $3.99 a yard, so it wasn't too expensive, and so I used burlap to just test out designs, or if I need to adjust something on my gun, then I'll test it on the burlap. And so hopefully this tip will just help you to save that high quality monk's cloth for the projects that really matter. The next tip I have for you is regarding yarn. If you're a beginner out there and you don't want to invest too much in yarn yet, you can get these bundles at Joann Fabrics. And the one thing about these though is that they don't have a cone in the middle, so you can't put it directly on the cone feeder. So the one thing that I found with these is that if you just place them upright, next to the frame, on the floor, leaning on the wall, or even if you put it in a box so that it doesn't lean over, use the string that comes out of the top. So don't use the string that comes and unravels from the side. If you use the side one, then the bundle will just weigh down this one piece of string, and your string will always become disconnected from the needle and you'll have to rethread it. So by using the top string, it just allows for freedom of the string to pull out, and it doesn't cause any disruption in your tufting process. The next tip is to use 2 pieces of string for using inside your needle when you're tufting. And the reason for this is because it makes the process a lot faster. You don't have to go over as much space, and also it makes your rug look more full. So for example, here is using 2 pieces of yarn versus this one is just using 1. So on the flip side, this is the one using 2 yarn and this one is the one using 1. So this one is just more thicker and allows the yarn to stay better in place. So you'll either have to purchase 2 bundles of the same color and then use the top strings for feeding it through. Or what you can also do if you don't want to purchase double the yarn and you want to save some money is to take empty toilet paper rolls and just manually wrap around that color yarn that you're using. And then this way you can just directly place it right on the cone feeder. And so you'll use the string that comes off of this and you'll use the string that comes out of this. I found this really helpful for small colors that I need, if I only need a little bit, or if I just need to touch up on a few areas and I don't want to open up a new pack, then I can just use the toilet paper. And finally, the last tip is not very mind-boggling, but it definitely helped me when I was tufting my rugs. So if you plan to make multiple rugs of the same design, or if you plan on selling it and you want to keep it somewhat consistent in the sizing and placement of everything, then you can create templates out of either cardboard or poster board. I use leftover chipboard that I had have. And what I do is I tape together a few of the chipboard pieces to create one large canvas, and then I'll trace and outline the shape or the drawing that I want to create. So if it's a circle, it's pretty easy. You can just fold 2 chipboard pieces in half, draw one side of the circle, and then cut it out. But if it's an irregular shape, you can just freehand it and then cut it out. Then when you're ready to make your rug in that same style, you can refer back to that template, and I just place it right over the monk's cloth when it's all stretched out in the frame, and I'll just trace it with a marker. That way it just makes everything faster, and I don't have to take extra time to measure out with a ruler or anything, and I can just directly place that shape right on there and then start tufting. So I decided that with this one I want to create a fish out of this oval shape. So what I did was I made a template for my scales so I don't have to like freehand it. But with this, I can just directly trace on each scale so that they are a consistent size and everything matches up. This has been really helpful for my circular pillows that I make, so I can make sure that they're the same size all the time, and also just for like irregular shapes. So that's all for today's video. I hope that you found some of these helpful, and if you did, please like my video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram at Dorla_rugs. If you want to use my code for tuftinggun.com supplies, use Adora15 to get 15% off your purchase. You can purchase the tufting gun there, or they also have yarn, monk's cloth fabric, the frame, a lot of supplies to help you during your rug tufting journey as well. So that's all for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.